Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How are you all doing? Please say hi, say assalamu alaikum. Let me know how you are doing.
Hi.
No one's saying it. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Let me know how you are all doing, and we'll start very shortly. I'm just waiting a few more minutes. Today it's just me, so I'm moderating as well. So you'll have to bear with me. Layla's off today because it's Thanksgiving in Canada, so she has the day off. But she's gonna not be here all the time, are you? Not today. Salam, Jules, sister. How are you?
Hi, Jules. Mrs. Jules or Sister Jules. Yeah, Sister Jules.
So tell me where you are all from.
Yeah.
Today we are going to discuss some really nice stories. Assalamu alaikum, Akbar. How are you doing? Alhamdulillah, you're good. Assalamu alaikum, Deborah. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you as well.
Hi, you guys.
Alhamdulillah, you're doing good as well. Alhamdulillah. I think I'm getting a cold. The weather's starting to drop here, so it's getting chilly.
I'm not getting a cold.
No, alhamdulillah, you're not, but some of us are. So we are off today. Well, I'm not, as you can see, but Layla is, but she's back tomorrow at school. It's the Canadian Thanksgiving today. And don't ask me if it's the same as the US. I have no idea. I assume so. Just got here and I don't really know much about the Thanksgiving here, but it's so quiet on the streets because everyone's closed and everybody's off.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So let me know where you are from, and we're going to start with the positive stories.
Listen to
today.
my mom.
Okay.
I better listen as well.
Yeah. Yes, but you don't. Okay, so let's begin. So our first story is actually of a British Muslim sister in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Her name is Maryam Aseem, and she is a student there as well. However, when she's not studying, she's helping young Muslims, and she has launched her faith-based education academy. So it's an after-school club, really, for these kids. And she says that just being there for children can change their mindset. It can stop them getting involved in drugs, and it can stop them getting involved in antisocial behavior. In her after-school club, she's teaching children Arabic as well as organising games and social activities. And she also volunteers, fundraisers, and breaks down some of the barriers young Muslim girls face. Now, this is a big thing in the UK that we all have to, not just the UK, but I suppose in the West, that we all must take care of. Looking after our Muslim youth. We want them to enjoy Islam and know Islam very well. And we want them to feel that they're a part of Islam as well. So they can only do this if we are encouraging that. So this girl is really, really something special, and she's really done a really great service here. So alhamdulillah, I've just posted that link now. You'll have to bear with me today because I'm doing everything. So Jules is saying hi to you, Layla.
Hi,
please excuse Layla waving her feet around. That's not very polite, Layla. We don't do that. So, so we need to encourage our kids, our youth, in order to make sure that they are involved in Islamic activities and they are involved in the society and everywhere. So this is a really good opportunity to do that, and she's doing a good job, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum, Ayan. Salama, beautiful Layla, mashallah. It's nice to see you here. Yes, hey, she's off, alhamdulillah. Mashallah. So, Layla, you are so cute. Yes, she is, alhamdulillah. So, I've pinned that first one up. Jules says, oops, Layla, yes. She's waving her feet around for you all to see. It's not that nice. And mashallah is Abdul Magdi says mashallah and inshallah. So that's a very nice story to start off with from this British sister Maryam. And she is also breaking the stereotypes young Asian Muslim girls face in Britain. For example, the families are very conservative there and often don't encourage the girls to do a lot outside the house. But she's coming from a family that has encouraged sports, that have encouraged her to get involved with the community through volunteering and so on. And I really encourage that, because it shouldn't matter if you're a brother or a sister. We should all be taking part in our communities. And I had a good conversation with a friend of mine last night, actually, about children and sports, and how sports can actually help kids stay focused and stay disciplined, especially as they're hitting those teenage years. And as you know, if you're living in the West, obviously they're going to be met by peer pressure of doing things that is normal to do for teenagers. Well, would I say normal? But, you know, and we have to try and stop that kind of behavior in a positive way. So without because sometimes if you stop it really strictly, like, you know, you can't go out, you can't do this, and you put too many barriers, your kids are going to rebel against you anyway, because they'll be curious as to why they can't do it. So, of course, we have to explain why. But at the same time, if they're involved in activities like fundraising, like activities in the mosque or sports, they are being actually disciplined in another way, and their mind is focused on these things, rather than, you know, when you hit the teens, boys, girls going out, doing this, doing that, and things that we shouldn't be doing. Actually, this applies in kids all over, but I suppose it's particularly strong in the West, because obviously it's not normal for young teenagers to be in relationships in the West, whereas obviously in countries in the Middle East or Asian countries or African countries, these things are not encouraged, whereas in the West it is. So, and it's everywhere. So in order to keep kids safe and away from this, without being too strict that they're going to rebel against you anyway, it's good to keep them educated, but to keep them busy and focused on other things. So sports is a great way for boys and girls. So this is a really nice activity, and she's helping these kids as well in return. So that's really good. Now we're going over to Germany. As we all know, there has been several problems going off in Germany just lately, and the rise of the far right there, and some very terrible protests against immigration and immigrants, and particular Muslims. You know, it's been happening on and off for a while, and this year seems to have culminated. So the German mosques, I believe, always have Open Mosque Day in October, and they had it this year as normal. On the 3rd of October, they had Open Mosque Day, and this attracted thousands, and I mean thousands, of non-Muslims around the country to visit mosques. Over 900 mosques in Germany took part in Open Mosque Day, mashallah. And you know, the point of Open Mosque Day is obviously for non-Muslims to visit a mosque, to understand more about Islam, to break down these misconceptions that people have about Islam, and of course to encourage dialogue between different faiths, different people, which is always good. And we've talked about this many times on these live sessions, that it's never a bad thing to make sure that we are talking, even if we're not believing in certain faiths, and we don't expect people to be reverting to Islam or anything like that, but it's just as a understanding, to understand each other a lot more, and to break these miscommunications down that happen through the media, basically. So over 900 imams gave speeches and gave talks to people, and they encouraged questions to be asked about the Islamic faith, the culture, and of course other aspects that they wanted. And one imam in particular said that this initiative is to show that they are transparent, they're open to dialogue, and really important now, that they are very much part of the German society. And this is what we need to make known to all Western countries. When you go over to the West to live, or even if you're born British Muslim or American Muslim, you're born there, you are very much part of that society. Whether you've come from another country or whether you are born there, you are still very much part of that society. So you don't need I talk about this a lot with my husband about the integration part, and you must integrate. Yes, to a point you have to integrate, but that does not mean you should forget your Islam, you should forget your culture. And a lot of times when people in the West are talking about integrations, that's what they are hinting at indirectly, that you should forget all about this and just adopt our values only. But that's just going to make the world a lot boring, isn't it? Because that's just intolerance, really, indiscreetly, but it is, on other people. Or you'll find people, we're fine that you practice your faith privately. Well, I can only speak now for Britain, but Muslims have been there for a very, very long time. And I think we're close to 5 million Muslims now in the UK. So how can you sit there and tell them that they cannot, or they are not integrated in the society, when they have been integrated in the society for a very, very long time? And they play a huge part of that. So I liked this statement from the German imam. He didn't say we are integrated into the society. He said we are a part of the society, and that's the key. That is exactly what we are when we are in these places and in these societies. So there you go. So that's a really good achievement for the Open Mosque Day in Germany, that over 900 mosques took part, and they have reached out to over thousands of people, especially at such a crucial time when there are terrible protests going on against immigration and against immigrants, and because of the refugee crisis that took place. This has caused a lot of problems, and you only have to open a newspaper to look at those comments coming from people who live there. It's really appalling sometimes to see what people write. Instead of wanting to save people, we hear them saying things like, we should help our own first. And I think these very same people who are preaching that we should help our own first would happily walk by a homeless person on the streets and not bat an eyelid, and wouldn't care to give them any help or money. So it's all hypocrisy at the end, in my opinion, anyway. So these things are good because they help people see that Muslims are very much part of the society and very much part of the culture, and they are there playing a huge part in society and culture. And they don't need to be integrated in the way that people over there want them to be integrated, so to speak. SubhanAllah. So that's that story, and it's a very good news coming from Germany after all those riots and what have you. Now, the next one in Canada right now, October is Islamic History Month, and we have a fantastic article up at the moment. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So Muslims obviously play a huge part of this society as well in Canada. And I mean, we just moved here recently, and there is a growing community where I am living now in Canada, subhanAllah. And, you know, most people here are accepting, and we've not faced any issues whatsoever. I think the majority of people here are understanding that, you know, Muslims play a huge part of the role here. I'm not saying that Canada is perfect and there are no incidents, because of course there are, but in general it's a very nice place where we are. I'm just going to go through the comments, so just bear with me. If I can, here we go. So I just put that one up. Sorry, I've got 7 new ones, so let's see. Layla is cute. Jazakallah khair, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's behind me drawing now.
I missed what I'm going to say to you guys.
Okay. So Mike says, may Allah bless you. My sister, may Allah bless you too, brother. MashaAllah, this is Amar. Jules, I live in the US and I'm always told to go back to my home country. I was born there. This is the funny thing, right? Go back to your own country. Go back where? I mean, because we are wearing hijab automatically means we're not part of that country anymore. I think this is a whole new, not new, but this is another problem as converts, white converts. We face this kind of, oh my God, you betrayed us kind of attitude. How dare you? You know, go over to that side. What have you done to yourself? All this kind of thing. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's felt that before. When you see that certain people looking in horror, oh, she's English and she's doing this, or in your case, Jules, you're American and you're doing this. How come? People don't get it. But alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, inshallah, step by step, we can change that attitude, subhanAllah. Inshallah, we can all live a peaceful life. Ya Rab, this is what we all been intending for a very long time. It doesn't happen, unfortunately, but we can try and we can make little steps to try, inshallah. Patience, my sister, sorry, I can't, I'm scrolling and then it pings right back up. Patience, my sister, this is from Mike. I'm going back to read what you've written, just bear with me. And brother, Allah will always be with us. Yes, indeed. MashaAllah, sister, may God bless you. That's from Noradine. May God bless you too, Noradine, and all of you who are following us. I'm going to just scroll to see some more comments, and then I'm going to go on to the next story, inshallah, which I've already started talking about. So, oh, here we go. No, it's not working for me at the moment. Oh. Okay. No, it's not working for me at the moment. So let's just move on. Somebody say, bless your baby. Jazakallah khair. Mohammed Rice, mashallah, sister, keep up the good work. Jazakallah khair, brother. We try to give you as much as we can in a good way. So let me go and talk to you now about this story in Canada, where we are remembering the first Canadians, the Muslim Canadians. They're not sure exactly when Muslims came over. It is unknown exactly when Muslims first arrived and settled in Canada, but or the area that is now known as Canada, because of course it wasn't. It was all one. It was all one land in the beginning, Canada and the United States. But evidence suggests that Muslims have been making Canada their home since at least 1851. It could actually have been before that. Some historians speculate that Mandingo or West African Muslims had contact with the native people of the Americas, maybe from the time of Christopher Columbus in 1492 or even before that. I'm not an American or a Canadian historian, so I can't really tell you for sure, but this is what some historians think. One of those first Muslims to come into Canada was Maha, or Muhammad now, but his name was pronounced that way, and I'm sorry for the mispronunciation, was enslaved as a young man in Brazil. He was then shipped to the US, where somehow he earned his freedom, and then he eventually settled in Chatham in Ontario, and he wrote his biography that made him famous. When he first arrived in Canada in 1854, there were already 3 other Muslims registered on the census as living there. And we describe them in the article that I've just pinned up. I think there was a couple from the UK or Britain, and there's another story on there as well. I can't remember where the third one was from. So go on to that link and you can find out about those first, as far as we know, the first recorded Canadian Muslims living in Canada as back as 1851. So that's the first recorded. Maybe there were more before that. And now we are going to go to another thing. The niqab. The niqab is a big issue for some reason for many people in the West. So in France, it's already banned. Belgium, it's already banned. Austria, it's already banned. There are other countries as well, and I can't really remember. I think maybe the Netherlands. I'm not sure though. And it's banned. Now Switzerland have jumped on to this, and they are talking about banning the niqab as well. And actually Muslim women could face this soon, because people have already voted to ban it in St. Gallen, which is a place in Switzerland. There is a French-Algerian businessman called Rachid Nakaz, and he has promised to pay these fines for these women who insist on wearing the niqab. He's already doing this for French women wearing niqab, and he's already set up a kind of organization to help these women. He's a very vocal opponent against this ban, and he's really doing, you know, a good work to help these women out and paying the fines that they get when they're seen out with the niqab. And it has earned him the title of the Zorro of the niqab. And I don't know how old some of you are watching it. You may not know of Zorro. I only know Zorro from the films made in the late 90s. I don't know much about it. I know it goes back. It used to be a character, I think, in Spain or South America. I'm not really sure. And he used to go around, he used to wear the mask, and he used to go around helping all the needy people. So he's basically been called the Zorro of the niqab. And again, this comes back to people telling women how to dress. And me, myself, I'm not wearing niqab. I don't see it as a necessity to the religion, really, but I don't think anyone should tell a woman if she wants to wear a niqab that she shouldn't. And I think the West, again, is hypocritical, because they are happy for a woman to wear next to nothing. This doesn't offend them for obvious reasons. So, you know, you could see a woman walking down the street in a bikini and they're not going to be offended. However, when a woman chooses to cover, this offends them. And it offends them because obviously they want women to go with this way that the West have of showing the skin and things like this. The commercialism and consumerism and things like this, and to show women only for what she looks like rather than how she thinks. And this is what women are fighting against for centuries, especially in the last century and the the suffragettes obviously wanting to the vote, and then it moved on from there. Now, I'm not an hardcore feminist by no means, but Islam has these values that have always protected and always shown women as rightful members of the community, and they've never ever been put down or made to feel inferior by Islam. If this is happening in a culture, this is not Islam, this is the culture. Islam doesn't promote inferiority in women, not at all. This is cultural practice, not Islamic practice. In the West, they've been practicing this inferiority of women up until now. I mean, you've got this movement going off now, which the Hollywood stars have jumped on the bandwagon about equal pay and all this, that, and the other. Well, equal pay in the West has been a problem for a very long time. It's not just suddenly. Women have been fighting this for years and years, that, you know, a woman can go out and get a job as a doctor and not be paid the same as the man in the same position, and so on. And the usual excuse is because women leave, women go to have babies, women do this. Yes, but she's still doing the same job. And some of them go back to work and do that job as well as be a mother and run the house. But, you know, we always face these kind of arguments in the West, and then they have the nerve to criticize, say that Islam oppresses women, and they use women's clothing as a sign of that oppression. Well, I know women who are wearing niqab and they are not forced to wear it. They've made their own decision. I'm not saying this doesn't go on. I know it does go on. I know some women are forced to wear niqab and they are forced to wear hijab, but this is not Islam either. We are told we should wear hijab by Allah, but the decision at the end is between the woman and Allah. No one can force it on anyone. It will be her who has to stand in front of Allah on the Day of Judgment and explain why she's not wearing it. It's nobody else. And the niqab, that's for my understanding, if you want to become even more closer, or you feel it's more pious to wear it, then that's the woman's decision again. So it makes me laugh how the West have the nerve to say that women in Islam are oppressed, and, you know, just because we wear a head covering or sometimes the face covering, but they don't understand how they're oppressing their own women by not giving them equal rights to pay, equal opportunities in the workplace, and so on. So it's all hypocrisy over there, and women are still fighting that today over there. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. So I don't believe any government in any country should be telling a woman what they should or what they shouldn't be wearing, whether it's an Islamic country or not, or non-Islamic country. I don't believe anybody has the right to tell a woman what she should or shouldn't be wearing. Only that woman should have that decision. And if she's a Muslim woman, then that decision, if she's wearing a hijab or not, or niqab or not, she will then face Allah, no one else. And if we're in the West, and, you know, they're claiming that Muslim women are oppressed, they need to understand that the rights that they are stopping women from having is backward, very backward indeed, subhanAllah. So, you know, to say that the suffragette movement started in the early 1900s in the UK, the women in the UK, because I'm not sure about all over the world, in 1918, women over 30 got the right to vote. So we're just talking 100 years ago, and only if you're 30 or over, women could vote. And then that got extended, I believe, in 1928 when it went out to all women over 21. But before this time, women were property and seen as property by the law. So their husband, if they got married, their husband automatically inherited all their property and all their wealth. So if that woman divorced him, she wouldn't take anything that used to be hers. She would have lost everything, and he would have took everything that was hers, including the kids. This was in British law in the Victorian ages, and even probably before that. So, you know, the hypocrisy stinks. SubhanAllah. So, Jules, we should be an example and show women and children how to embrace hijab by our example, never by force. We need to feel hijab in our hearts. This is really crucial. Yes, we need to feel why it's important. I mean, you can't just tell someone wear it and then they will automatically feel happy for wearing it, and all that. It doesn't work like that. They have to understand why. And again, it's that woman's choice at the end if she chooses to wear it or not. So we shouldn't criticize as such, because the hijab journey is very much similar to any kind of journey in Islam. Like if you're not praying and then you start to pray slowly, surely, so on. It's the same with wearing hijab. You know, just because it's a requirement, and it is, it doesn't mean that it's an easy one, especially if you're living in the West. And, you know, when for some reason it annoys brothers more when a woman's not wearing hijab than it does the sisters. But brothers, you need to understand that hijab is not easy, whether it's been told to. And by the way, some brothers are not praying. Maybe you should do a favor and help them pray, and let the sisters deal with the sisters who are not wearing hijab, because it's better for a sister to talk to a sister who's not wearing hijab than a brother, because brothers, you don't know the hardship or how difficult it can be to wear that hijab sometimes. So it might be a better idea for sisters to tackle this with sisters, and brothers to tackle things that that men need brothers for. Because I see this whenever we have hijab posts or non-hijabis posted on our wall. It seems the brothers always have a problem with this. Brothers, back off. The sisters can deal with this because the sisters are going through it or have been through it. You haven't, so let us deal with it. And never judge a sister. You don't know where she is in her faith. You don't know how hard it might be for her to wear hijab. You don't know her circumstances. Maybe she's in a family where her family doesn't like her to wear hijab, so it's very difficult for her. Maybe she's influenced heavily by friends. Maybe she doesn't have good friends around her. Maybe she's in a country where it's very difficult for her to get a job or anything like this. We cannot criticize, and it's only a sister who's really going to understand from the heart what this sister's going through. So really, and I'm not saying there are no judgmental sisters out there, there are, but at the end, a sister is more connected on this issue than a brother. So I'm just saying, as a kind advice, brother, try not to get involved with hijab issues unless it's going to be from a non-judgmental point of view. Hijab is best for the Muslim side, but as I said, every woman has a different journey on it. Hijab, increase honor of women and looking more gentle in the sight of believers. Also, we cannot measure how religious a woman is by wearing hijab or not. Only God knows. This is extremely, Jules, you just, yes. I used to live in Egypt, and, you know, I made this mistake that only the ones who are wearing hijab are the really religious ones. When I first converted and I first saw a proper Muslim country, and then when I saw that there were the sisters not wearing hijab, and I was a bit confused. And then step by step, you see that there are women wearing hijab who do not pray, who drink, who go out with men, who do all these things. And yet you have sisters who are not wearing hijab, who are praying, who don't go out with men, who are not drinking, who are not, you know. So sometimes it's not about the appearance. She can be wearing that just as a fashion trend. And some women do. Or she can be wearing it just because she feels like she wants people to see that she's one thing when really she's not. So it's what's in the heart, first and foremost, and that's what Allah will judge on the intention. And then, of course, if you are wearing hijab, you've got to make sure you are applying everything to do with the hijab. But some women don't do that. So I think I'm at the bottom of the comments. I may have missed some. I do apologise about that. So I'll come away from that subject for now. But yeah, we've hit on a good topic there. I do believe that not everybody who's wearing hijab or niqab is as pious, just as I also believe that not every man with a massive beard and wearing the galabeya is also really a pious man. It's not always on appearance, it's on what's here and what's the intention, and only Allah knows that at the end of the day, and we get to know it slowly over time. So this is why it's so important we don't judge, because we don't know where in a sister's journey she is at with regards to the hijab. And we also can see a sister, she looks the part, but she's actually not. So this is why we shouldn't be judging on appearance alone. We have to judge from what's inside a person and how well their intentions are. Are they good intentions? Do they have good intentions? And then we can help that person, you know. So it's all about not judging and maybe focusing on things from your own before looking to somebody else. Because we all sin, but we all sin differently. So maybe we should concentrate on our own sins and use the gentleness and the help that we have to help someone else who may be struggling. And that's how we should see it. Alhamdulillah. Hello, Bayram from Turkey. How are you doing? How's the weather there? I know it gets quite cold in the winter, right? Are you cold weather now? Or are you doing good? Is it still nice weather over there in Turkey? So that is finished, and I just want to tell you, we have our YouTube channels, brothers and sisters, where all of our live videos go, and we also do our own, we have 2 video companies helping us produce videos that our editors write the scripts for, and they can be on several topics that we've chosen or that have been featured on our website. Please go over there onto our YouTube channel and subscribe. You are going to see all the videos that we've managed to produce since July 2017. And there are some really good videos on there. So please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've just put the link up. You can catch up on all our live council sessions. We have fantastic talks from our brothers and sisters who help us with really interesting talks throughout the months and year. So please go over there and visit them. We have live council videos on there as well for certain problems that people are facing, and we have ours. Our Positive Mondays, me and Sister Tammy are also on there. And of course, our own produced videos on certain topics. So please go over and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've put that up now. Assalamu alaikum, Arifa. You're from India. How are you, Arifa? Assalamu alaikum, Lawai from Jordan. How are you, Lawai? Did I say your name right? That's a really nice name. I'm just trying to scroll because I see another comment come through. Yes, I still have issues with this. Oh dear. You'd think I would really be good at it by now, but no. Old school. And secondly, I want to tell you that maybe you don't always want to go on Facebook throughout the day, or if you're working, or if you just want a break, then you can. We have an app. We're not on WhatsApp. We're on something called Telegram. And if you just want to know what's our top 3 articles of the day, you can go over and subscribe to our channel on Telegram. And I've just put the link up on there. And you just get the 3 top articles of the day are sent to you via Telegram. And it's a really nice... It's a really nice app, I'm told. I don't have it yet, but it is a really nice app. So please go over and subscribe to our Telegram channel and catch up with the 3 articles of the day. So I have a bit of a chaotic household. I'm sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum, Ayung I'm from Thailand. How are you, Ayung? Is everything okay in Thailand? Assalamu alaikum, Mohsin. Assalamu alaikum. Arifa, you're fine, alhamdulillah. Well, that's all from me for this week. Next week will be a bit quieter because everybody will be back at work and at school. And I will be doing you another positive stories next week, inshallah. Jazakallah khair for joining us today, and I will see. May Allah bless you all and your loved ones with a very good week, and I'll see you all next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.